Okay, so here I am back for another video. Thanks for joining me. This week's something a little bit different. I'm going to be going to do some action shots with a local paragliding club instead of some landscape photography. So I hope that sounds good. I'm going to do some editing of those later, show you the final results of the best ones, and that's sort of my usual format. So I hope that sounds good. Have a look at those, and we'll see you back to wrap up later. Hi there, so I'm here at the Muller Flying Center, which is just in my town of Cochrane, Alberta. I've never actually come up here to the area, so they do parasailing, or I don't know quite what the technical term is for it. Anyways, I'll find out for my video, but I've never seen it so busy. There must be a dozen guys and some women flying around off the steep hill here. I heard somewhere that this area has one of the best hills for it in Canada. I don't know if that's true or what the actual figure is, but I see them all the time. So I just thought I'd come up here, took some action shots. It was really cool what they're doing. Okay, so we're here in Luminar Neo. Let's get started with editing this and see where we go. First of all, as I've said before, I always go to the Develop tab, which is the Raw tab. This is all stuff from your RAW, if you save in RAW, that is, which I always do. And then go to, I select Camera Faithful, and then I'll always drop down the highlights a fair bit. And then I'm going to just boost up the shadows quite a bit here, I think. And let's get the contrast going nicely here. Oh, and I always like to use the overlay of the overexposed, underexposed sections of the image. So I'm going to hit that tab. I don't expect there to be too many here so far, but I'm going to boost the shadows a bit more, I think. Introduce some black, just a little bit. Tinker with those two. Then I'll go down to optics. I always like doing the distortion corrections and the auto defringe that's under the Develop tab. If you do that at the beginning, it has all those options. When you move away from the Raw tab and try and go back to it, it loses some of those. So in your workflow, you want to make sure you're doing things in the right order so you don't lose options. I'm going to vignette for now, if there should there be any. Then I'm going to go to color and I'm going to whack up the vibrancy to around 10. That's doing its job almost too well. Let's go to okay, let's go to the crop setting and start thinking about what we would like to do and see in terms of the final image. Okay, so we cropped, and I think that's a good area. I'm going to start looking at the sharpening. I'm going to give a general global sharpen to everything. Okay, and here we go. It's back. That's given a nice amount of sharpness. And now I'm just going to do a little bit of this accenting. I usually give a couple to that. And that one, this one, the sky enhancer one, is really good for just giving a richness to the sky, because sometimes the sky can get a bit washed out. So because I've moved off of the super sharp, setting, when I go back to it, it's going to allow me to, it's like a whole new session, if you will. I'm going to go to masking, and then I'm going to try the object select, and I'm going to try and pick out these figures within the image themselves, and just sort of pick out our boy here. I'm going to pick out his sail. Okay, I'm going to pick out those items, and then I'll go to, well, let's see what happens with middle. Okay, here it is. I like that. I feel like he's sharpened up nicely from what we have. Yeah, and it's nicely sharp in and around there. This Paragliders sail up here. I don't know, is it called a sail? I don't know. Shoot sail? I don't know. Anyways, yeah, that's done a nice job. And then, in fact, I know it's sort of counterintuitive for some of the steps I've done, but it's kind of got to think of these things in layers. And I come from Photoshop, so I do a little. I'm used to working in layers. What I'm going to do is go down to the blur setting. I'm going to do a mask. I'm going to do a linear gradient. Flip it around here. Sort of just do a bit like that. And then I'm going to go to the adjustments, choose Gaussian, and this is very sensitive. I'm just going to go with maybe 4 might even be too much. Let's have a look. Can you see that? Before and after. Let's go in closer. Yeah, I mean, it's sharpening it up. Now I think I'll go back into the color section, which is independent of the color that you see in the original Develop tab. And I'm going to go pick out specific colors in saturation mode. You see the drop down. And I'm going to just increase red a little. And the yellow, which is going to globally pick things up. But I don't mind that. It's going to pick up the yellow in the sail. So it's going to pick up yellow in the surrounding area. Oh, and then I think I'm going to add a vignette, or at least experiment. I mean, these are nice because you can just experiment with stuff, and if it's not working, they have this thing called choose subject. Sometimes I'll use that, sometimes I won't. It depends. They have a pretty obvious subject in this one, so I always find it's funny. You choose a subject, nothing happens whatsoever, nothing. So in order to reveal what they have chosen as the subject, you need to really make a contrast in the shape of the vignette. That's all right. I kind of think maybe even up a bit. Yeah, something like that. Let's go to advanced settings. Some of them have advanced settings underneath, so you have even more options, and this makes it, as you can see, a really strong. Yeah, that's what I want. A really strong version, and this one will obviously adjust the shape. But I think because it's a portrait, we want to do something like that. And then, of course, I'll back down the amount. Just give it a little tick. Very subtle. Maybe one more. And it just almost subconsciously helps you zoom in. I mean, I always find that funny, hey, in photography or in art in general, when they want you to focus on one specific area and do all these tricks to lead you to that area, as if you're not going to focus on the 2 flying human beings and giant colorful sails in the middle of the shot. It's just kind of a funny thing. But anyways, this just helps aesthetically with that sort of thing. I think this one is actually probably coming up to, maybe we'll just color one more time. I might just tone down the cyan. You can see the horizon. You can see this, like this. If I do that, it really shows you. I often will whack things up right to see the extreme. So at the neutral setting, which you start with, it's around that. So I'm just going to take off like 2 points. It's probably not even enough to convey to you, but what you can also do, I kind of want to tone down the blue in the river. We could have a go at that. Oh, is there anything I want to erase? Oh yeah, there was a little, like a bird or a plane. I'll just erase that. I just like to erase a few details that are gonna, you know, just be distractions. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. If they don't, then we just undo what we just did. Try again. I think that's turned out all right. I mean, those are fine. Maybe this little guy here. I mean, I'm nitpicking now, I know. Maybe this guy here. Oh, didn't hit the erase. Just makes it sort of look like everything is in the distance and gives that little bit more depth and stops distractions. Anyways, what was I going to do? I was going to go back to color, and then let's try some masking by color. I don't know if this will give us exactly. Ooh, yeah, it's giving everything. And then if you slide this down, you select the color, and then you can slide down. So what I'll do something like that. Like, you can try and pick out just the color you want, but often it's not exactly what you want. So I'll do that. Then I'll go back to the selection area, choose a brush, choose erase. Oh, let's go back once more. Show. I wish it would always show. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it show? Like, why wouldn't I want to see the thing that I'm currently working in? I'm not sure that that's a feature that is super helpful. Anyways, let's get rid of, tone that down. I have this pen display tablet, as I've mentioned before, and so you can slide things up and down here for the size, or you can do it with the controls that you would use your display tablet pen with, and just kind of paint around. So that's pretty good for the actual selection of the blue that I want to mask off. So let's go back to adjustments. There's a number of ways we could do it. We could go to the actual blue and reduce the blue, or we could reduce the vibrance or the saturation. I'm going to do the vibrance. You don't want to do too much. Let's do some aqua in there, just lighter. Let's do the before and after. Yeah, it's pretty deep and vivid there, and I just like that subtle bleeding off of that a little bit. Anyways, I think that one is, I'm pretty happy with that. That's a save. All right, well, thanks again for joining me. I hope you liked all of those. It was cool seeing those guys in action. And yeah, we'll probably be having some pictures from my recent trip to Dinosaur Provincial Park, which just was on this weekend. So yeah, a bunch of landscape photo shots of some amazing scenery. So I hope you come back for that one. Would love it if you did the usual like, subscribe if you felt like it. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Thanks.